Now we have come to a very important part, and that is the LeBien Award. And this is going to be a little bit like an Oscar ceremony, you know, when you say, you know, so-and-so is nominated, oh, they're not here. Well, unfortunately, Bob and Sarah could not be here because Sarah is not very well, and their son is not very well, so unfortunately they could not be here with us, and I know they so regret this. And I have a little I've quite a long message to read to you actually, so I start. Hello to you all in Prague. Sarah and I are really disappointed that we cannot be with you today, so I take the opportunity to speak with you today. I would like to take a few moments to comment on the progress that has been made to expand IPOPI's reach into Asia. When we were together at the award ceremony in Florence, I summarised the history of IPOPI and called especially attention to what IPOPI and its member organisation had meant to PID patients and their family. And I pointed out how tens of thousands of PID patients and their families had been empowered by the many informative and educational publications developed by IPOPI and its member organisations. And that as a result of these patients were becoming more able to partner with their doctors in managing their diseases, patients and their families had found much needed understanding and emotional support from our member organisation Patient Network, how the quality of life for most patients had been significantly improved, and finally, in some cases, lives had been saved. But I also pointed out that IPOPI's task was far from over, that there were hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of individuals throughout the world who were still suffering from PID, and that they and their families were asking the same questions, the same frustrations and fears, have the same helpless feelings and the same sense of being alone that we have all had, and that we expressed our very first meeting in Oxford, England 24 years ago. God, that's a long time ago. I then concluded my comments by saying that the task ahead for IPOPI was how to reach the rest of the world, primarily Asia. Well, I then challenged Johan, Josie, and the board to create and implement an Asian strategy and action plan to accompany that task. Well, 2 years later, I want to say how delighted I am by the extent to which they have embraced this challenge. They have designed and implemented a sound, forward-looking strategy that had already resulted in new member organisations in Thailand, Malaysia and Hong Kong. With commitments in Singapore and, we keep our fingers crossed, Vietnam. This is impressive, and of course there's still much work to be done, but they have indeed made a very important first step in this expansion programme. I think we can all take pride that through this effort, IPOPI and its members, all of you will reach the lives of many new patients in this part of the world. Because now they too will feel empowered by our educational publication. They too will have access to the medical and personal connections that our members enjoy, and they too will have an improved quality of life. I must say, Sarah and I are looking with much anticipation to the formation of many more member organisations in this part of the world. When this is accomplished, and it will be, IPOPI will truly be the global and the founding vision of IPOPI will finally be realised. And, you know, when I read these words, I do get a lump in my throat, which I'm sure you can hear, because, you know, it was his vision, and we really did try very hard to accomplish a lot in a very short space of time. But it was only possible because of him. And, you know, I just wish he was here to hear these words. So, you know, we will send him all our best. Now, of course, it comes to a very important part, because it's the LeBien Award. And as you know, 2 years ago, he was the happy recipient of the first LeBien Award. And I will now read you the message, and you will find out who the next LeBien Award has been awarded to. to say a few words about the LeBien Award recipient, Bianca Pizzera. I have known Bianca for a long time, but I especially remember attending a board meeting in London where the current chair had suddenly resigned and it was up to the board to find a new chair. This was not going to be an easy task because no one there felt qualified or wanted responsibility. I remember strongly encouraging Bianca to accept the position, but she said her English was not good enough and she didn't think she could do it. No matter how hard I tried, she would not change her mind. In time, of course, she did change her mind, and IPOPI should be very thankful that she did, because Bianca accepted the challenge of being chair at a critical time in the life of IPOPI. And like all volunteer organisations in their formative years, IPOPI had financial and organisational challenges that threatened its stability and future. But it is precisely at times like this that a leader needs to step forward, who had that belief, the dedication and the will to not allow the organisation to fail. Bianca was that person for IPOPI. She recognised the importance and necessity of IPOPI and was not going to let it fail. Because of this, Bianca will always have my greatest admiration and most sincere thanks for her contributing so much to this great organisation. Bianca, I congratulate you and I'm pleased that you are the recipient. Well, unfortunately, Bianca cannot be with us. She really was trying very hard, but again, through medical problems in her family, she cannot be here. She does know that she is the recipient of the award, and she has sent a message, which I will now ask Andrea to come up. Andrea? Sorry, I hope you have enough room in your luggage, because it's quite heavy.
And breakable.
And breakable.
I'm honored, excited, and very happy to have been chosen to receive the LeBien Award. IPOPI has represented an important part of my life, and I would like to pay tribute to Bob for his inspiration that led to birth of IPOPI. My son was diagnosed with agammaglobulinemia in 1985, when he was 4. Till then, I had never heard of primary immunodeficiency. His diagnosis was like a stone for our family. The impact was devastating. Nobody with whom to share our concern, lack of information, poor medical knowledge on the subject, and frequent admission in the hospital, being just a few of the problems that we would face it with. We felt alone. We feared the future. Toward the end of 1990, I learned from an Italian immunologist who had attended a meeting of a European Group for Immunodeficiency, the present ISID. At that an international PID patient organization was being formed. It was a dream, or a new horizon was opening? Waiting to know more, I started to corresponding by letter with Marcia Boyle in States, Meelis Ilstrom in Sweden, and Liz Beek in UK. The result was like a breath of fresh air. Thanks to their advice and with the collaboration of a group of patient families, immunologists and nurses, the Italian Patient Organization for Primary Immunodeficiency, IP, was formed, legally registered in May 1991. IP was the first patient organization dedicated to primary immunodeficiency among many other organizations around the world. That's so the light, thanks, inspiration and vision of Bob LeBien. In 1992, I attended the first IPOPI meeting in Lugano and never missed one meeting since then. In 1996, I was elected to the board of IPOPI, and I had the privilege to serve as chairperson from 2004 to 2008, following on the leadership of Bob, Martin Gitthaus, Louis Carroll, Keys Woos, who had chaired IPOPI with enthusiasm and great courage, and made what at the beginning appeared as a dream come true. They were my mentors, and I had only to continue the way that they had started. From 1992, on step by step, many projects were carried out. Guidance documents like the Charter, the Rule of Conduct, and the first strategic plan were defined. Relationship with the international scientific community, as well as with plasma industry and policymakers were established. A set of booklets covering the 6 main PIDs were produced and translated into 6 languages. 2 working groups inside the board were set up, one to help NMOs and the other to monitor the supply, safety and viability of immunoglobulins. The first IPOPI regional meeting took place in South Africa, thanks to the hard work of Joy and Pinsa and the precious collaboration of Dr. Monica Isier and the support of National Bioproducts Institute. Over the year, among other successful projects, 3 main goals were achieved. An hearing on PIDs within the European Parliament and the European Parliament resolution on PIDs. The first European Consensus Conference on Primary Immunodeficiency, co-founded by the European Commission. The successful application for maintenance of immunoglobulins into the WHO model list of essential medicine. All this would have not been possible without the commitment of many dedicated people from different continents, with different language and different cultures, who have worked with enthusiasm and courage in the last 22 years as a unique voice to improve awareness, access to early diagnosis and optimal treatment for PID patients worldwide. In closing this short excursus, I want to say a word of thanks to IPOPI pioneers, Bob and Sarah LeBien, Martin and Anne Gethaus, Louise Carroll, Mais Liz Ilstrom, Fiona Sandford, and Ellen Chapper, and a special thanks to you, to an exceptional team. I had the privilege to work with Keith, Tatu, Juicy, Sven, Anneli, Eva, Stephen, Martin, Vicky, Marcia, Joy, Roberta, Evi, Dragana. Sorry if I forgot someone. Sorry my pronunciation for names. Lastly, but not least, I cannot pay tribute to Josie. Since 2008, when she was elected chair, Josie has brought all her vitality and enthusiasm into IPOPI. Under her leadership, IPOPI has grown significantly in strength and has become the effective global advocate and professional organization it is today. There are some words that I think that Bianca would like that Dragana can read. If Dragana would like to come here.
Dear Joseph, the work that you and your board together with David, first and lately under the direction of Johan and his staff, have done in the last 6 years is outstanding. You have brought new ideas and have opened new frontiers, the development of so many new animals in different areas of the world. Africa, Latin America and Asia are good examples. Is the best evidence of your success. Today, patients and families with the primary immunodeficiency around the world can look at the future with more optimism. IPOPI has many reasons to be proud.